and your daddy don't rock and roll. Your mama don't dance and your daddy don't rock and roll. When evening rolls around and it's time to go to town, where do you go? To rock and roll. Your folks say that you gotta end your day by 10. If you're out on a date and you bring it home late, it's a sin.
Alright, first I guess I ought to explain my use of that intro. My favorite beer is Guinness, as you can all see here, and I love Guinness. I also like redheads, pretty much all women. Yeah, I'm a man, so therefore kind of pervert. I got that clip in an email, and I had to make an intro out of it. So maybe you'll see it again unless people get offended or whatever, but I mean, there was no boobies, no snatch or penises, so I think it'll be okay. Okay, actually the reason for making this video is I've got a couple of comments since I came back here to YouTube. I've been gone like a month or 5 weeks, something like that. And in comments, I keep getting Christians, well, not all Christians, I mean, maybe Muslims, whatever, saying they have evidence for God, for a deity. So this is like my clarion call. I want to hear this evidence, and I'd like you to write some kind of like scientific paper, submit it to Nature, submit it to any peer-reviewed technical scientific journal. So, you know, I'm doing this for your best interest. I want you to go up and collect your Nobel Prize, because no matter what religion you represent, once you prove, I mean, well, not prove, but you provide enough evidence to support your theory, because that's basically, well, no, you have a hypothesis. It's not a theory because it hasn't, as of to yet, been supported by enough evidence to qualify as a theory. Because in scientific terms, a theory, you have to have a lot of evidence, you know, and even theories, laws, Newton's laws of gravitation, relativity, as proposed by Albert Einstein, totally overthrew those laws. So, you know, just because it's a theory is actually something big, a law, a scientific law is something above that. So far from what I've seen from theists, and I'd like to think I've kind of looked at like all their arguments, maybe I've missed a few, but they don't have enough evidence to qualify for a theory, much less a law, you know. So therefore I'm gonna like put all religions out there as hypothesis. Okay, now I need to qualify something real quickly. When I say evidence, I mean empirical evidence. These things didn't work on me when I was 5 or 10 years old, and they're not going to work on me as a 30-year-old. Emotional arguments made from emotion about feelings, that's not going to cut it. No guilt trips, that doesn't stand up to scientific scrutiny. We're not children you can blackmail. So emotional pleas, stuff like that, that's not empirical evidence. Disqualified. Outright insanity, that's also out, unless you can back up that outright insanity with hard physical data. Okay? So like if you want to say somebody walked on water, we're going to need some evidence of that. Or somebody changed water into wine, we're going to need evidence. Hard physical data. Same goes for like Noah's Ark. Like if you claim something outrageous, we need data. I mean, we're not going to take your word for it, because you might be full of shit. Okay, I'm from Missouri. I was born here. I live in Missouri. This is the show me state. So show me the evidence. Okay, show me. All right, because otherwise, I'm gonna think you're one of these slick northern carpetbaggers that are coming down here, you know, trying to hustle us poor country folk, you know, carpet bagging your asses everywhere. Yeah, we don't believe your moon, you know, your snake oil salesman stories and whatnot. We think you're full of shit. So we want hard empirical evidence, physical data. We want something concrete. A mathematical. Okay, I read this book by Carl Sagan. Yeah, I do read. I'm not a total country bumpkin. It was called Contact. And his evidence for some kind of divine creator, this is a real good example of what would be acceptable, but this is Carl Sagan's fantasy, okay, and his fiction novel Contact is when you divided pi down to a certain limit in like instead of binary or decimal, like we use decimal for our mathematics, computers use binary. They were using 11 digits. So instead of hexadecimal, I don't even know what 11-digit binary would be. But they were using 11 digits as like the denominator. And when it came down to it, it was a bunch of zeros made a perfect box, and there were a circle of ones around it. And that was in pi when you calculated it to a certain extent in this certain code. That would be acceptable. A perfect circle, you know, I mean, that's a good example of physical data. However, I don't think you're going to have that. Maybe you will. But I get these people claiming, these deists, or not deists, theists, claiming to have evidence, yet when I ask them to provide it, they don't provide it. And I was gone from YouTube for a whole month. Maybe the theists have made a massive breakthrough, and they've proven that their deity specifically, not like a deistic, you know, just blind creator, but their loving personal God is true. And I missed out. I don't want to have to go hunting through a bunch of videos. Just provide the evidence in a comment, in a quick video response to me. Give me your evidence, because I missed out, and I need to know. Thank you.